getting all those documents ready and everything, you go through your application and then you now transfer from your draft onto the website. Reason being that some of the questions are designed in a way that they are testing consistency. And so if you just fill in an ongoing process, you might fill some information that you really don't recall what you filled. Go and fill a contradiction in the next section because it will be asked in a different way that your mind might not really catch it. So always have a draft. Go through your draft, make sure that the information you're putting across is consistent. The eligibility criteria for this scholarship has already been spelled out in the documents that we are about to show you, or we are currently showing you on our screen. Mercy, can we have you share your screen? Good. So, with this, what you have to understand is that the eligibility criteria is clearly spelled out. You have to then apply some undergraduate scholarship. So for that matter, if you are applying for masters, you have no business wasting your time on this application. The key areas that I would want to talk about is that in your entirety of the application, you want to be able to demonstrate financial need. That's the most important thing. Some of you have genuine reasons why you need this scholarship. Mind you, you are in competition with people who probably don't need the scholarship but still applying anyway. The difference would be how you tell your story. So if you are not able to demonstrate that financial need enough, you might probably know a colleague who applies and you may feel you are needier than that colleague, but that colleague ends up having this scholarship being awarded and you don't get it. It all boils down to how you were able to demonstrate that financial need on paper or documentation like. And so when you start the application process, the first sections are usually about so section 1, Mercy, if you can take me there, is about your personal details. Section 2, same. And then when you get to section 3, section 4, it starts asking you some questions about, your family background and all of that. This is one of the areas that the scholarship reviewers really look at to see if you demonstrate that financial need. Now, you realize they ask you about whether you are married, whether you are single, uh, if you have a spouse, what work does your spouse do, level of education, if your spouse is employed or not, and how much he or she earns, and all of that. Now, what WMI is looking at this point is, do you have the financial support from your immediate family? Does your family setting allow that your people could pay your fees through school without WMI necessarily coming in? So let me give some examples. Let's say you have a family of 3, your mother, your father, and yourself. That's a relatively small family size. With your mother and your father alive and both working, well educated, and having a decent employment, the understanding is that they should be able to see their single son or daughter through school. So unless
Hi, Israel. We can't hear you. Okay, I'm thinking maybe he has a network issue and is trying to get back.
the resources are limited and
All right, Israel.
you are not able
Sorry,
to get much to be able to further or finish your education, or instances where there's a large family size and you are the first sibling, meaning that your younger ones look up to you. There's that need that you are in a position to help them as you grow, and they also age and your parents age and all of that. And then the support system in instances where you are married. Uh, it's a dicey situation. You might choose to be dishonest about it. But the idea is that if you have a support system, this person should be able to help you. So they want to know, okay, probably your support system is not having an employment. So you are married, yet you don't have, your wife doesn't have, or your husband doesn't have any decent job. Or you are married, you have kids. And so even though there's a support system, you still need some external support to be able to complete school. So these are some scenarios that paints the picture that you actually have a financial need. All right, large family size, first sibling, probably you are being taken care of by an only or a single parent. Maybe your mom has passed, your dad has passed. So these are some scenarios that you might want to put yourself in when putting in the application and see where you fit and be able to tell this story better. Okay, so that's one key thing to be able to demonstrate financial need. Uh, you should also be able to demonstrate effort towards the education. So it's not like you are sitting and applying, waiting to get the scholarship before you now go ahead to apply to a school. So as part of your supporting documents, if you're able to add an admission letter, that's someone who doesn't have the means to go to school or probably pay his or her fees back is interested in schooling. So that's some demonstrated effort there. It's also one of the things that WMI looks out for. So I mentioned two things. You have to be able to demonstrate financial need, and you should run through every section of your form as you fill them. Even though the questions may not be directly asking you that, but they should reflect it. And then you should also be able to demonstrate effort by probably securing an admission, added that to um, your application documents, and possibly have, you know, good grades. That is, if you are already in school, you are a continuing student and you are applying. You should have your transcripts attached to your application speaking for you that you have good grades. I remember I applied when I was in level 100, and level 100, usually it's easier if you put in a little effort, you can make good grades. So my grades when I was applying was so good, and with demonstrated efforts, that put me ahead of a lot others in the application process. So this something you also want to look out for. And when it comes to uh, another requirement that is very essential, which could be personal and differ from every individual. We call it the community service component. That is about section 11 of the things you need to fill out. This component requires of you to have demonstrated at least three things: volunteerism, one; two, leadership, or having played some leadership roles; and then three, either partnering with non-governmental or non-profit organizations to execute some community-based projects, or actually owning one NGO or CBO and being able to, execute such community-based projects. So you realize that WMI is interested in social impact. At the end of the day, they are not just interested in funding people's education, but they are interested in mentoring and equipping people that would make change. So you don't want to just start the application and just put the front as though, oh, I have ever had the chance to help my community with this. They are not interested in it being a one-time thing. They want to know that the people they are helping are change makers. They are people that have set themselves aside to help others. They are people that are ongoing, like in an ongoing basis, thinking about their community, thinking about how to help people and all of that. So that is what this section is for. So you realize that section 11, Messi, if you can show that in the document we pulled up, you realize that section 11 asks you to fill in any volunteering activities you carried out. And it also asks you to fill the date you carried out the activity, how many hours you spent carrying out that activity, how it helped the people. Okay, so this doesn't have to be anything huge or anything financially involved. Probably you partook in a community cleaning exercise. Okay, you desilted some gutters or you organize or mobilize some youth or yourselves and a few colleagues that today we are heading out, we want to clean our community. So you can do that and have it documented photographically. So we are looking at action pictures. There are some sections at the tail end where you might be asked to upload pictures of you engaging in this project. Now, the application process is such that you realize that's why I said you need to create a draft. So you might just be filling in anything and be noting in your Word document what the application is requiring of you. Reason being that the volunteering component, you might end up filling all the things you think you have done. It is at the tail end that they will ask you to upload pictures. Then you realize you don't have any pictures, and probably you fabricated some volunteering community projects at the top that you don't have pictures, or the pictures you have don't match any of the things you've written at the top. That is the importance of the draft. So once you know that these are all the things you need, then you can be able to tell a consistent story from the first section all throughout to your essays and everything. And so the volunteering aspect, WMI will require of you to fill any volunteering activity. Mind you, it could also be leadership roles that you've occupied while you were in school, while you were at home, anything. Okay. And the focus is on action pictures. So everybody could just go and stand in a crowd, take a picture and say, this picture was from so and so events. You did this, you did that. But undeniably, if you have pictures of yourself engaged in the activity, nobody needs to tell a different story about that picture. So those are what we call action pictures. So the evidence you want to support your volunteerism history with should be action pictures. Of course, someone who has uploaded action pictures of 3 or 4 volunteerism works he has engaged in has a higher chance than someone who has just stood in a crowd of 15 or 30 people to say, I partook of this. So those are some of the things you really want to look at to enhance your application. And then there's a section where we really look at your AC, and that is the section 12 of the application. Mercy, if you could scroll to that section, you will realize that you have filled your information into the online form, section 1, 2, 3, 4, and all, in fact, up to section 5, all of that section would have been asking you personal information and all of that. Now they are asking you to put the same details into an essay form. And I keep hitting on consistency in your presentation, being able to demonstrate financial need, being able to demonstrate effort. Your essay shouldn't tell a different story than we had already told in all the sections you have filled. Because if you are someone who is just trying to make things happen, sometimes it becomes so obvious. Your essays will be elsewhere. Your details in the application process will also be telling different things, and that's an outright disqualification. You might not make the first stage even of the application to let alone go for interview. Okay, so it's very important. You are likely to write about 3 essays. And then the first essay would require of you to document certain things on your background and family. And so if you have filled your background info and you said you don't have a family, you are not married, you don't have a kid of your own, you are a family of 5, maybe you lied at that section. And now when you are typing your essay, you decided to be honest and you say something else, the inconsistencies would give you out. So even if you want to lie, please be a tactical liar. The essence is that your essay should tally with what you have filled earlier in the previous sections of your application. So you would have your background and family info. You should be able to tell that essay to demonstrate financial need once again. So For example, I belong to a family of five. My mom, my dad has passed, making us five. You probably were initially a family of six. I'm the eldest of my siblings. My younger siblings are in basic school, and my mom does this work. He's a petty trader. That's how she supports the family and all of that. We are a family that believe in religious principles and moral principles. At my leisure, I do this, I do this. I volunteer on community-based projects. I joined uh, a certain community-based organization, carry out distilling or cleaning exercises in the community. I help at the orphanage at my leisure times. They want to see a personality in your write-up, a personality that portrays someone who, if they invest in you, in the next years to come, you are likely to drive change. You are likely to go out there educating young ones. You are likely to go out there fighting for gender balance. You are likely to go out there, fighting for wildlife. We have the SDGs, and I'm sure we are all aware about it. These are issues of concern to the world. These are issues that the world is interested in bringing change. And so once you find yourself or you're able to create a niche for yourself, doing something actionable in all these areas, these are things you want to, tell a story about. These are things you want to include in your background essay. So your background essay should be able to tell a personality without they being able to meet you in person. That is what makes them interested in wanting to have a one-on-one with you, interview to, collaborate some of the facts you've churned out in your application, in your essay. So it's a very important step. Your background essay should be solid because it tells who you are and if you are worth the investment WMI is about to make into you. There's also a second essay that requires of you to uh, tell them about your future plans. So that they are interested in your objectives, aspirations, career, and what profession you want to, go into. If you are just in school because you have to be in school and they pay your fees, you come out and that's the end, or you have something in mind. So you are reading a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture because you plan to go into large scale farming after school, or you have a petty farm. Your father is a backyard farmer. You've grown up learning how to farm, and with advancing technology, you want to be able to, have more insight into technologies and its application in farming. So you are going to school, reading this course, and these are your plans. You want to go into large scale farming when you complete school. And so, right from your background, is telling a picture. You volunteer in activities, you are from a background of a farmer, or you have interest in farming. So you are doing a program. The program is in line with what you want to do in your near future. And your future plans should also include community service. Reason being that you are telling WMI you are a social change maker. You are someone who, if WMI invests in, he has invested in the world. Your future plans shouldn't be just about you. So you are probably looking at going to large scale farming, employing people, children, creating avenues where mothers or single mothers could help on the farm in return for payments that they can take care of their kids. They're interested in having social programs, giving back to the less privileged. So if you are writing your essay for future plans, if you are someone that this thing is part of you naturally and you are not faking it in an application because you want to be sponsored, WMI expects that naturally this thing should come out. So these are things you should note down. Please, you will probably want to take a pen and note these things down. Your background should reflect your personality. Your background essay should tell something that relates with the program you are reading. Probably you lost a parent to an illness that has inspired you to go into a health science program to save preventable deaths. Your background should have an input into your future plans and why you are reading what program in school. Your future plans should also focus not on just you, but also helping people. Okay, so the future plans essay should focus on that. And there's this last essay that they ask you to uh, execute a project. Hypothetically, if you were given an amount of, let's say, $1,500, uh, tell us how you'd, which community project you'd want to do in your community. Now, again, this is also testing your personality. Someone who is passionate about his community and has been helping in many areas should have identified a problem area in the community, which sometimes just because you don't have the means to, you just call back and be like, But now they are saying we give you the opportunity with this amount. Uh, what can you do with it? They are interested in you telling a story. So that is another uh, aspect you want to, focus on. And in that section, talk like someone who has a project in mind already. Talk like someone who has had a foresight of solving a particular problem and add budget to it. No, even though it's a hypothetical essay, but they want to see some level of demonstrated leadership ability to execute the change they want to see in the people they invest in, or the change they want to see people they invest in make. So that shouldn't be someone who is like just writing, if I get this, I will so and so, I will do this, I'll do this. So you should be, consistent and say that growing up, I've had this chance to help people in these fields and all of that. I've
Hi,
notified this
girl.
problem in my community, and over the years, I've been playing around it with a few friends. Maybe it's poor drinking water. The nearby pipe borne is far from the community. You probably were thinking of
Hi,
mechanized
girl.
borehole, how to
Can you
purify
hear me?
it. So you talk on all of that, and you add a budget of the items, how much it would cost, and then your plan. If WMI's money will not suffice, this is how you intend to fund the balance. Write the essay of the hypothetical community project you want to carry out as though you are receiving that money and that money is not enough. How do you manage the little resources, or how do you outsource other resources to help and execute that project? So all these essays, as I said earlier, are testing consistency, your ability to demonstrate that you are someone who have the community at heart and you will be a change maker, your ability to demonstrate effort, having made efforts towards your education, probably your parents not having the means to support and all of that. And so, if you're able to put all this together, I want to believe that you would have put in a very good application and you would have been one of the top people to be considered to go to the next stage. My colleagues will be touching on the other areas of the application. And so, for my side, I think I'll bring my presentation to an end. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Israel. Once again, we really appreciate. Thank you. So, coming next is our very own one of our scholars here. Thank you, everybody, for that reactions coming up. I love the energy in this room. So next person coming on, Esther. Esther, please, are you ready for us? Please can unmute your mic to get started, Esther. And for everybody raising up their hands, I want to assure you that um, your questions are going to get answered. So just toss to the very end. You're going to answer everybody's question. So once again, I'm calling on Esther. Esther, if you're on this call, please let me know. You can unmute yourself to get your presentation started.
Yes, I'm here now.
All right. Thank you very much, Esther. So you have the floor. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, fellow beneficiaries and scholars. Well, my name is Esther Bayo from Sierra Leone, a beneficiary of the WMI scholarship. So today, I'll be your host, and I'll be talking on section 5, which is the financial resources. So Mercy, please, can you just scroll down to section 5? Um,
Okay, can you see my screen?
yes, I can see your screen, though it is somehow.
All right, so don't worry, I'll get it fixed. I'm trying to
Okay,
scroll up to section 5 for you. So this
thank
is
you.
section 5. Yes, yeah, desserts.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you.
sorry. Okay, so that's section 5. You can go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you. Okay,
You're
so
welcome.
as we all can see, as applicants, this part is also required for us to fill in. So of course, we understand that we all are from different financial background, and we'll be asked to complete this particular session. And you'll be told that students are selected based on many aspects. It's not just financial background. Though, yeah, we have financial background as one of the main aspects, but students are most often choosing based on different aspects. And the WMI scholarship, like, does not always cover, let me say, the total cost. Maybe the fees you are paying, WMI can offer. So you'll be asked to fill this particular session. So for us to start, like, the first question you will have is that, do you have any prospects for employment, part-time or otherwise, while you are in school or between semesters, where you can earn income towards your educational cost? So I believe if we are all applicants and you come across such a question, let's say your answer is yes. And of course, if you choose yes, you'll be asked to explain from the form given to you. So if you're asked to explain, okay, let's say for me as an applicant, I would say, like, I'm a medical student in training and I intend to work on a community health clinic around campus. And of course, I will state the amount that I'll be expecting. That's maybe per week or per month, which can actually compensate for the fees, the tuition fees, if WMI are unable to like give to me the actual amount of fees that I need. So let's say, like, I'll be expecting about $50 per month. So as compensation for my tuition fees. So let's say I'm unable to WMI unable to provide for me the exact amount I need for my tuition fees. So in that case, this community service on campus, working in a health clinic, like a job, I believe we. So let's say you'll be asked another question. Sorry, the network here is really bad. I hope we can hear now. I hope you all can get me clear. So just as I was saying, like, if, let's say, you have been asked such a question and you are asked to explain, then you say, okay, I'm a medical student in training. Of course, that is for me answering the question now. And I intend to work on a community health clinic around campus. And I'll be expecting to earn about $50. per month as a compensation for my fees. So of course, that would tell WMI that even if they are unable to provide for me my exact amount of fees, then these little tokens will be able to compensate for my fees. And of course, there is another option. If you are not having any job at a time or at a moment, or you don't intend to, then you can just choose no and you pass. So let's look at another question that will be asked. So another question is that our maximum scholarship is 3,000 US dollars, but we do not usually award that high an amount. You have asked for in the scholarship application. Is there any way you can make up the difference? So they will ask you. So if you look at it, the question is related to the first question, that if you are not provided with this particular amount, will you be able to compensate for the balance? So something like that. So let's say, please, Mercy, can you help with the screen? Because someone is asking. So let's say you can compensate for the difference, of course, just as explained from the past question that was asked, just as explained how I intend to raise funds for my own tuition fees. So that, of course, for me is a yes and not a no, because from the very beginning it was yes, and I explained already how I'll be able to compensate for the fees. So another question again is that you'll be asked to list the sources of income or support and the amount you expect to receive to help pay for your education from each source on annual basis. And of course, it will be in US dollar. You need to convert your own currency into US dollar. So you need to know the current exchange rate, because if you give any exchange rate that does not match with your current exchange rate, then it will be your own, the blame will be on your side. Sorry. So of course, as I said earlier, they will list some, you will be seeing a particular list, like for job, what can you earn if you are working. Let's say you are working after classes or during classes session, like you are working, how much can you earn to be able to compensate for your fees, for your tuition fees, if the WMA are unable to provide the exact amount? So just I was saying, for the job, I earn 50 US dollar per month. And my family, what can they offer? Well, my family can offer about 21.59 US dollars. And for the savings, like let's say for my savings, I have about 10 US dollars. Then for the awarded scholarship, I have none. And we look at government loans, I have none. And other loans, none. So in total, for the job, the family, and the savings, I have about 81.59 US dollars. So that is what I can give in compensation for a fee if WMI are unable to provide for me the exact amount that I need for fees. I hope we are understanding, please. So another question here, have you received scholarship from any other organization, institution? If it is yes, then you choose yes. And of course, if you choose yes, you will be required to list down the name of the institution where you got a scholarship and the amount that you get from this institution. Okay, please, let me just, I know this particular area is somehow skeptical. So, for the last question that I was trying to say on the form under your financial resources, you will see and you'll be asked to list the sources of income or support and the amount you expect to receive as help for your education. Just as I was saying, WMI stated clear that they can only afford 3,000 US dollar as maximum scholarship fund for each and every scholar if possible. But that is and exceptional because they don't actually award that high an amount. So how can you compensate for this fund? If you have written to WMI, let's say your fees is about, let me say, even more than 3,000 US dollar. So you will need a compensation for that because WMI is not going to give you that high an amount. So you will need a compensation. So they'll ask you, of course, from the beginning, you were asked if you intend to work with a job to compensate your fees. So, of course, just as I explained. So, for job, I will be earning about 50 US dollar per month for the job that I do. And for the family now, let's say I will be earning 21.59 US dollar for my family. That is what they give as compensation to my fees and all. And for the savings, I have about 10,000 US dollars. So in total, let's say in sum total, like in total now, it will be about 81.59 US dollars. So these are the series of questions. Of course, for the awarded scholarship, none. Government loan, none. Other loans, none. And for the next question, you will be asked, have you received scholarship from any other organization or institution? So you need to make it clear. If you have been in partnership with another institution or organization as a scholarship given to you, then you need to make that clear to WMI. Is it a yes or a no? If yes, then you'll be expected to give the name of that particular institution or organization, and you will state clearly the amount that is being given to you as scholarship fund every year. So I believe that one is clear. And for the next question, you will be asked, do you have debt with your university? Let's say maybe you are a student in year two, and for the past year, year one, you were owing your university tuition fees due to some financial issues and you are unable to settle that. And you get promoted to the next level and you come in contact with WMI and you are awarded the scholarship. So in the form you will be asked because they need to know, it is very key. So in case you are asked, do you have debt with your university? So if it is a yes, then you will be expected to state the exact amount that you have as debt with your university, the amount that you are owing the university. But if it's a no, then you just give it a no and you score. You go to the next. And I believe this is the last one for the question for financial resources. And also, shortly, I will be deliberating on community service. Well, for community service, it is key for every WMI. It is key for every WMI applicant, even for beneficiaries who are still continuing their studies. Community service is really key. Please, Mercy, can you just scroll down to community service? Because I'm done with this financial resources. Thank you. Okay. So this here is like the community. Yes, I can see now. Thank you. So of course, for community service, you are expected to do about 100 hours of community service for the year as a WMI student or applicant, even as beneficiary. That is what is expected of us. Let me say, like, you'll be expected to provide about 3 different pictures that will be showing you doing community service. And of course, they are looking for, there are some key things that they look for with this community service. Of course, it should be real and it should be clear. It will be clear, and you'll be expected to give an explanation. Let's say you did a community service volunteering in a hospital as a community health assistant. What were your roles? How did you do it? Sometimes you'll be asked to give some of these things. You outline just so they can believe that, oh, yes, this person did this particular community service. So, of course, it should be about like 100 hours. That is if you can, if you have the time. But of course, the least they will ask for is 100 hours community service. So let's say for the first question, you'll be asked for a volunteer activity. And as for me now, as a applicant, let's say my volunteer activity is general assistant. So what organization do I volunteer as a general assistant? The Masuri Community Clinic for the Poor. That is for the next question that you'll be asked. Name of organization if volunteering in an organization. So I volunteer as a community assistant. That is the volunteer activity. And for the organization is Masoi Community Clinic for the Poor. Then you'll be asked another question. Brief description of responsibilities, just as I was saying. So now I will explain that I was responsible to help the clinical officer in all of his duties. So it's a volunteering activity. So my choice was to help the clinical officer in all his duties, of course, as a general assistant. And I will be asked the start date, month, that is the month or the year. So, of course, you need to give the very date that you start the volunteering process. So, for me, I started the 2nd of 2023, the second month, that is February 2023. And another question there, though, you'll be asked again to give the end date, the month or the year. But if you are currently volunteering, you will state it that you are currently volunteering. But if you are not and you have been a volunteer, you will state the month that the volunteering activity ended. So the month that it ended was the 11th month, 2023. That is November 2023. And of course, you'll be asked for the total hours. Just as I was saying, the least hours that WMI is expecting us to offer community service is 100 hours. So for me, my total hours volunteered was 200 hours. So that is the end session for the volunteering activity. So now um I'll be looking at the final one, which is the personal statement or the personal essay. Okay, thank you. So, well, for the personal essay, it's also another key that you really need to, it's also another key that WMI mostly look at. This, I can say, is really the main area, the main aspect. This is what explains, this is what tell people about you. This is what give, this is where you explain, sorry, this is where you are going to explain why you want to apply for the scholarship, what prompts you to apply for scholarship, whether it's financial background and all. This is where you will have to do your explanation. And of course, just as I said, we all are from different background and our histories are unique. So, and as for me, I can only share with you a little bit of my own history. So, well, um, you'll be asked to write a personal statement or essay, not less than is it 450 words or so. So in writing a personal essay, let's say, like for me, I'm Esther Bayo, a proud Sierra Leonean, born in Masoi village and was raised in Botown. My mother is a housewife and my father is a retired commercial motorbike rider. And of course, you need to be like, when you are writing a history about yourself, no one, you know, like, can take that from you. It is something that is within you, something that, that is really unique. So of course it needs to be real. So when you are writing, you need to explain to WMI what prompted you to maybe apply for the scholarship. Is it financial background? Is it because you can't afford your fees? Of course, those are the reasons. So you write in this personal statement, and this statement will be one of the reasons for you to be choosing as a beneficiary for WMI, or for you to be even shortlisted to be a beneficiary for WMI. So please, my advice to you all is that when writing the essay, make sure it is real, emotional, just as your story is, because each and every one of us have a unique story. And of course, you state clearly why, the reasons why you are led to look for a scholarship such as WMI scholarship. So for today, once again your host, and I believe I'll be ending my session for you because we don't have much of a time. Thank you all for your time.
All right, thank you very much, Esther. We really appreciate you showing up and sharing your experience with this wonderful applicant right here. So, moving next is another big scholar that we have here, and he will be coming up next to talk more on how to go about your scholarship application. Coming up is Sadiq. Please, if you're there, kindly unmute your mic, and the floor is all yours. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Can we all hear me?
Yes, good evening. I can hear you.
Good evening, everyone. So, all right. Thank you, Messi. Thank you, organizers. So, my name is Sadiq Adewoyin, and I'm a fresh graduate of Electronic Engineering, Obafemi University here in Nigeria. So, really, it's a privilege to speak with you guys today as a fresh graduate from a Nigerian university, who has navigated the journey you guys are embarking on. The WMI scholarship is a very incredible opportunity for you guys. And every section of the application, matters a lot. Let me still confirm. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we
Okay,
can.
thank you. I
And
just
people are
wanted to.
Yes, we
yeah,
can
they're
hear you,
giving their
Sadiq.
thumbs up.
Thank you.
Yes, we can
So I
hear.
want to
Thank you.
focus today on the section 6 and section 10, right? Part of your application. So section 6 is the academic cost. So can you help me scroll to that? Thank you. Section 6. Thank you, Messi. Thank you. Okay. So this section is where you provide your
You're
estimate
welcome.
of financial needs for one academic year, usually for one academic year, not for the whole of your program. So it demonstrates your financial situation and transparency. You know. So I would, but I have 15 minutes on the call, right? So I would like to like split into 10 and 5 because I might not be able to attend to your questions after the call. I might not be able to, and I'm sorry for that.
Okay.
So I'll use 10 minutes to speak, then use 5 minutes of my time to attend to questions. Thank you. So well, the things I need, and I think that, or I feel like you have to do, the qualities um of your application, of this section of your application. One, I think, and I'm very sure that what WMI wants is your honesty and you being realistic. So you don't want to quote figures that are not reasonable. Not that they are not reasonable, but they are too, over exaggerated. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be honest. So WMS basically asks you to, not to overestimate your academic costs. And it is because they cross-check all calculations during the review process. You don't just agree with what you say. That, okay, fine, I need so amount for this, and they just quote any amount. You be like, okay, yes, that's true. They have their review team, and I'm very sure they have review teams. They have people from Nigeria who can corroborate your figures, right? So you don't want to quote figures that are too exaggerated so that it doesn't lessen your the genuinity of your application, right? So you have to keep your estimate reasonable and reflective of your actual financial circumstances. Get what I'm saying? So, you need to gather accurate data. Your currency conversion must be, timely, must be real. You get what I'm saying? That's why you have the dates there. So you check whenever you are checking, whenever you are doing the conversion, check the dates, corroborate with what you have online. You could use any platform of your choice. For Nigerian guys, you can use say Aboki. I mean, there's a lot of them. So all I'm saying is you don't want to quote what is not, right? Say, let me give an instance. The exchange rate of dollar to naira, say it's around 1,650 in the market per dollar. You know what I'm saying? And then you, because you want to have more this thing, in this wise, when you want to, the cheat code here is if you want to have a higher distance when you change, instead of you quoting 1,600, you probably quote say 1,000 instead of 1,600, not higher in the sense. Mathematically, you have to quote lesser to gain to get more. You get what I'm saying? So you don't want to quote 1,000 to dollar. If it is 1,600 on the date you are checking, please let it be 1,600. We understand that WMI also understand that the market is volatile. If 1,600 today, 1,650 tomorrow. That's why you have the dates there so that they corroborate for you, right? Then your tuition fees, check your university official documentation for tuition costs. If you are unsure, you can contact your bursary, but don't lie, please. Don't over exaggerate, don't overestimate, please. Other school fees can also consider expenses like lab fees, It's usually there, lab fees, uniforms, activity fees and all. Then your accommodation, you know, because all these things at the end of the academic, periodically they will ask for academic reports and then community service reports. So during the collation of the academic reports, you have to provide receipts of all expenses. That is your accommodation. You have to provide your receipts, your tuition receipt, everything that you are paying for, that you have told them that you pay for. You have to provide receipt of those things. Then your meals, of course, I also understand the volatility of the economy. Sometimes, it's favorable, sometimes it's not favorable, and then you don't want to be stranded. You want to be safe. And then because you want to be safe, you want to quote prices, amount, figures that are not what exactly they. You want to quote figures that are not presently. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you quoting 50 naira or 50 say CDs now, you are quoting 100 CDs because you feel like in the next 2 years or in the next 2-3 months, this would have gone to. No, you don't do that. That's why you have dates there. Be honest. You know what I'm saying? Your books and supplies. Yeah, some of us or most of us we buy books. It is part of your it's part of what keeps you going in the school. You have to read. As far as this scholarship is concerned about giving back to community service, it is also concerned about your academic stance. That means you have to be strong academically because if you don't attain a particular, it's like threshold. If you don't attain a particular, say GPA in a semester or in 2 semesters, WMI cuts off beneficiaries. They don't sponsor people that are not serious with their academics. So, of course, you have to buy books, and yeah, they understand that. It's money that one costs. So, estimation should not be too exaggerated. So, you fill out the form thoroughly in local currency, and you also convert to US dollar. That's USD. That's their currency, the USD. So you highlight financial need without over exaggerating. I said that before. So you highlight your financial need without over exaggerating. Then before you submit, make sure you review and verify. Get review and verify. Please, it is very important. You don't just okay, because I've done this, I think I've done it, I'm done with that, then you move to the next thing. Please review and verify. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's about the academic costs. Yeah, and then you make the total all in USD in local currency. That's your local currency as well. But I want to say again, please be honest. Don't over exaggerate. If you do that, the genuinity of your application will reduce, and then it will reduce your chances of getting the scholarship. There's a lot of people applying for this scholarship. There's over 1,000. When I applied, let me just digress a little bit. I got the scholarship in 2021. So I started my application process in 2020. That was in COVID, during COVID. So I think few days to the deadline, right? I submitted. So all I'm trying to say is these things they have procedures, they have their review teams, and if you don't meet their standard, if your figures are not, I mean, they could not be corroborated by their review team. They have review teams in every country. They won't tell you, but of course they have. They don't want to just pour money into what you don't want to just they call it investment. They can't invest in you if you are not fruitful, if you are not honest. Yet, but at the same time, I understand. I said before, I understand that you want to be safe because the economy does not just stand. It's not stand still. It goes up, it goes down. Very, very understandable. And I promise you, WMI is a scholarship uh that is, I mean, they allow for it is smooth, it is friendly. Let me say friendly. Friendly is not the word, but let me say friendly because at every point in time, if you have any issue at all, you can always mail them, and I promise you they are very much active. Mail them, they'll revert back to you. If you have any issues, let them know. There is any change in your price, in your tuition, in maybe accommodation, reach out to them. They will attend to you. They are not like the local this thing. They are very much reliable. They are very much, they are understandable. They are understanding. They are, they are the best really. Just just make sure you copy it. I really want you guys to copy it really. So I think that's all for the academic cost. I have another section to take, which is section 10. Section 10. Messi, please can you help me scroll down to section 10 because I want to take questions for you. Please. Section 10.
All right, so I'm working on it. Thank you. This is question 6. Here you have it. Question 10.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you
So
guys see
section
my
10
screen?
is another very important part of your study. Can somebody confirm? Can you see the screen? Section 10 is displayed.
Yes, I can. All right,
Okay,
thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you. Let me just continue. All right.
You're
So
welcome, you're
section
welcome.
10 is the work slash the employment issue.
Please,
Hello?
mute your mic so that others can hear. Please mute your mic. I'm responding to messages.
You can't see the screen.
Okay.
All right, so you can go on.
Okay. All right. So this section is also very, very much important. Here you want to highlight your work experience that reflects your dedication, your responsibility, your skill development. You know what I'm saying? So even if you don't have a formal job history, I'll explain how you can make most of this section. You don't have to have a formal work history because at the time when I applied, I was a student, I wasn't working extra, I wasn't doing any casual work or any part-time work, you know what I'm saying? But I leverage on my other, okay, I'll mention it in the all right. So, but the point is, I wasn't also working, so it's not like you have to work. You have to be a casual worker or a part-time worker, or no, you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? So, the thing is, you have to understand the purpose of this section. WMI wants to understand how you have contributed to your community through your work. Any financial responsibilities you have taken on, your work experience, how it has shaped your character, your skills, your goals. This section is very much optional, really. But if you have no employment history, just don't worry. Focus on other part of your application to showcase your strengths, right? So you fill out the work employment history section, right? So for each job or role, it's possible you have more than one job, more than one role. It's possible you have taken up more than one job, more than one role. Yeah. So for each of them, you write the official name of your employer, your organization, where you worked. If it's an informal setting, like you helped your family business, maybe your mom or your dad or your uncle, your aunts, just be honest. You don't need to lie that it was formal, it was just be honest about it. You get what I'm saying? Be honest and be clear about it. So your employment status, you feel that is it part-time employment, full-time, casual labor, what have you. So you write the start date, the end date, you precise, use a month year format, and if it's going to use a month year format, you know what I'm saying? Like you're saying June 2022, August 2023, and the likes. So you briefly describe your responsibilities, you highlight the tasks that you have, that you engage in to show your skills, your work ethics, problem solving abilities, use action verbs. You know what I'm saying? They'll ask you to describe. So during your description, use action verbs. I coordinated, I assisted, I managed. Talk like you really took on responsibilities. Talk like leaders. WMI is building leaders, is training leaders, is investing in leaders. So I coordinated those kind of verbs. Coordinated, assisted, I managed. To put it to them that you actually did this. You know what I'm saying? So keep it short, but very much action specific. You know what I'm saying? So uh, you can include informal or volunteer roles if you have one. Like I said before, it is very much optional. This section is very much optional. But if you have, please make sure to include. Really, it is advisable that you have. I mean, if you don't have the formal work experience, informal work experience, please, it is advisable that you have volunteer roles experience as well. Anywhere that you have volunteered before, with pictures, please. WMI doesn't just do I did this and they'll say, okay, yes, you have done it. We agree with you. You have to you have to show evidence. You know what I'm saying? You have to show evidence. So you don't just say you have done this without a picture evidence because they'll ask for it and you have to provide them. You know what I'm saying? So include your volunteer roles, internship or casual labor. Say, for instance, how you assisted in the event planning in your community. Just saying, teaching younger students or tutoring on pro bono terms. Pro bono is like collecting money, not being paid. Taking tutorials for say younger, say your juniors, younger students. Maybe you're a senior in a university and you have juniors, of course. So teaching them without getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Helping out in family businesses. It could be anything. You know what I'm saying? Just um, volunteer roles. So your salary, the accurate conversion to USD. This part is very much critical to the extent that if you make a mistake, right, to be very much to impact your application. I'm not saying every other section does not, but this is very important. But this is where WMI wants to, this is where this is what matters. Everybody applies to this scholarship or for this scholarship because they want to get money. Let's be realistic because everybody you need money, right? So this part they are taking it with so much care. They want to be careful while reviewing this part because they cannot just pump money into what is not. Get what I'm saying? So you double check your salary varied. Provide an average monthly amount. Get what I'm saying? Maybe first month they paid you $2. Sorry, first month they paid you it couldn't be that low. Say the first month they paid you $30. Second month they paid you $40. Third month $50. Just provide an average. Everybody knows how to. I assume everybody knows how to calculate the mean or the average of just a. They don't want you to say first month 40, second month 50. Just provide a kind of average amount. You know what I'm saying? So you make your work experience relevant to your scholarship goals. You get what I'm saying? You briefly connect your work experience to your aspirations. For example, if you worked in a library and you're applying for a scholarship to study education, you mentioned how experience inspired your passion for teaching and say literacy, right? So yeah, you try to briefly connect your skills to your scholarship goals. You know what I'm saying? So I think there are some mistakes that you need to really avoid. Skipping details because you don't want to type. Okay, fine, I did this. I say you worked as a say office assistant. You just said I worked as an office assistant. You have skipped a lot of details because it just spells out your role. You didn't say what you actually did there. As much as you don't want to be too extraneous, you want to have too much extraneous materials, too much extraneous content, you still need to, be explicit. You get what I'm saying? You don't overestimate your earnings at all, please. Don't overestimate it, please. Then your volunteering work, don't think it is less important. This scholarship, I tell you for a fact, volunteering is a really, really big deal. You know what I'm saying? So don't ignore your volunteering work at all. So you review your entries too, please. Review your entries. Review your entries, please. So I want to take questions now before I give my final review. So I'm so sorry for spending more than this is I took two sections, so I hope you guys understand that also. So I'm so sorry for taking
It's
too
fine,
much
it's
of your
fine,
time.
it's fine.
So briefly,
No problem.
Briefly,
It's
I
fine.
want to thank you. So briefly, I want to entertain questions from Mercy. Please, can you choose for me? I don't want to be the one to choose, so that it doesn't look like I'm. So,
No, it's fine. Okay. So I
so
have
just pick
four people
questions.
raising up their hands here.
So okay, I believe you guys raising up your hands is just for section 5, sorry, section 6 and 10. I believe so.
Sorry, we would only be taking question 6 and 10 for now. So if you have question, if you don't
Yes,
have
yes.
question based on
Please,
question 6 and 10, please kindly put down your
yes,
hand.
6 and 10.
But if
6
your
and 10.
question
Thank
is
you.
related to 6 and 10, please raise up your hand. So I have Suzanne here. Suzanne, please can you unmute and just ask your question very quickly?
Okay.
Okay, I have a question
Hi,
for
Susan.
section 10.
Hi, Susan.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, good
Yeah.
evening. I have a question for section 10.
All right.
For the work experience, does it have to be your present or past job?
Well, it has to be
And
your.
sorry, I have
Okay.
another one. What about if you've had multiple jobs and you're still working on multiple jobs? So do you also have to include that maybe consecutively in that space provided? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Susan, for that question. I believe a lot of people have similar questions, but one way or the other, they are not able to raise their hands. It's very good when you ask questions, and a lot of people, some people are shy, really. You don't need to be shy anyway. So, the first question, you said if is it just your past jobs or your past and present, right? So, WMI wants to have the full information about you, right? They want to know what you are, who you are, how you are trying to survive, how you have been trying to survive, how you are surviving, and how you want to survive, right? So you need to put your past jobs, your present jobs. Of course, they don't need your future jobs because that one does not matter. So they need dates. So if it's your present job, when you go in, you put the dates. If it is they are still on the job till date, that's why you have till date. You could do till date. That means you are still on the job. And if you have so many jobs, you are working in between hours, right? So you should also include that. Make that, in your description, make that known that you have so many jobs that you're working on. You have maybe you do shifts, you do shifts here in the morning, do shifts here in the afternoon, and the likes. Make them know. You have to be honest with your application. You get what I'm saying? So that when you lie, right? When you lie, there are sometimes you forget. I mean, you forget that. I mean, you have said this thing before because they are lies. Corroboration is very important. You get what I'm saying? So when you lie, right, there are sometimes, except you're a very, very good liar. I don't know anybody that is well. So when you lie, you tend to forget some information. You tend to forget that some information are overlapping. You get what I'm saying? When you have overlapping information, it is not good for your application. But when you are honest, you say you say the way they are. You write them the way they are. I mean, I think that's a boost for your application. So just be honest. Whatever it is, write it there. Past, right? Present, right? Stay working in between hours, right there. WMI appreciates hard workers. Get what I'm saying? So all the best. Next person, please.
Okay, so because of time, we are just going to take 2 more people so that other speaker can
Yes,
come in. We
yes,
have a lot
yes.
of
No
hands
problem.
already. So
Yes.
Prince, please can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes,
Prince.
please. Yes. Yeah, good evening,
Good evening. Good
everyone.
evening.
I hear you.
Yeah, please, session 10 about the work, volunteers work. I want to ask, maybe if a student nurse and don't have any kind of a job current that you have do, but you have a clinical experience, so you cannot state that when the job over there or volunteer over there.
Okay, fine. Oh, I get your question. It is so what you are saying is you don't actually have a work experience, but you have the skills. Well, that in this context does not
Yeah,
apply
yes,
because
please.
yes. So in this context, it doesn't apply because you have to be. I mean, you must have applied your skills. You must have applied it. So it is the application they want to test. They want to test not just the application, in fact, they want to test your ability to take up responsibilities. Like I said before, WMI invest in future leaders, in world leaders. That's why you have it in your clause that you must be willing to stay in your country because they believe that if you are in your country, you can also train more people. You know what I'm saying? You can also invest in more people in your local community. You don't want to run away. You don't want to leave the people, say the way they are. You know what I'm saying? So you must have been able to apply your skills one way or the other. So it doesn't work that you just have the skills but you have not applied them. That does not work. I'm sorry about that. It doesn't work really. I hope you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, yes,
Hello,
please.
Prince.
I get you. Yes,
Yes,
please, I
yes. So
get
you must
you.
have been able to apply your skills to some extent. That's why it's called work work experience, right? Yeah. So
Okay,
Thank
the
you.
next person.
so all right. Okay, so very quickly, Taiwo Ugumola, can you unmute yourself and speak? You're raising up your hands.
Yeah, thank you. So my question is very brief. What I just want to ask is that can you just give us a tips on calculating the cost of meals? For example, cost of meals per plate can be 1,000. I'm just giving an instance for a day, 3,000. So after I calculated for an academic session, it's almost, in my own side, it's almost 500,000. That's for me. That's what I calculated. So can you just give a tips on how to calculate the sum of these expenses, especially that cost of meals? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. I know somebody will ask this question. I know, yeah, and thank you very much for putting up that question. Right. So you know, when you want to solve complex problems, you break them down, right? You break them down into simpler problems. So you don't want to just tell WMI that your meal costs 1 million naira every academic year. How did you come about that 1 million naira? Of course, you have to be able to explain. You know what I'm saying? So say for another, you give me an instance. I want to give you another instance, or let me follow your instance. Say you say 1,000 naira per day, but you have to be realistic. In this day, 1,000 naira per day, in the morning, afternoon, and night, 1,000 naira. How do you divide that? That's 333.333, every day. Without fuel, that's not realistic, really. So let's say you do 1,000 naira in the morning. I'm just saying 1,000 naira in the afternoon, 1,000 naira. That's 3,000 naira per day, right? How many days do you have in the academic year? Right. So in a full calendar year, you have 365 days, right? Let's say you have 300 days, right? So 300 times that's 3,000 naira per day. How much is that?
Sadiq is saying that it is
Yes.
not per day. It's not per day, it's per plate. That it means per plate, not per day.
No, yeah, per plate is say in the morning per plate, 1,000 naira per plate, afternoon 1,000 naira, then evening. That's 3 square meal, right?
Yes, yes.
Hello? Yes, yes, that's three
Yes,
square meal. So
yes.
per plate is like per, that I'm talking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner now. So per plate, that's one plate lunch, one plate breakfast, one plate, dinner. That's what I'm trying to say. So say one plate costs 1,000 naira. So you have 3,000 naira per day. That's what I'm trying to say. Do we understand?
Yes. That's the
Yes.
same thing
So
I'm
that's
saying.
3,000 naira per day times 300 days. You do that, you do the calculation, and then you convert to dollar. In your local currency, you do that, convert to dollar too. So that's how it goes. That's a complex problem, really. That's a complex challenge, but you have to break it down into simpler problems. You get what I'm saying? So you have to be realistic. So that when they ask you that, okay, how did you come about this 1 million naira? You be able to tell them that, okay, fine. I just assume that, or I eat 1,000 naira per plate. You get what I'm saying? I have 3 plates per day. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that costs me 3,000 naira per day. And in the academic year, I have how many days? 300 days. You know what I'm saying? So 300 days times 3,000 naira per day gives me how much? Whatever it gives you. Then you convert to your to USD. That's United States dollar. Get what I'm saying? Prince, are we good?
Taiwo, are you still here?
Yes, I'm here. But what I'm
Was
trying
it?
to ask is that
Oh, okay.
that yeah, I'm the one. So what I'm trying
Okay.
to ask is that the amount for that cost of milk, to me, it seems like a kind of too big, or is it not too big? If for that instance that I
Like
gave,
it's too
when
big,
I
Abby?
calculated it, yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
and it's
I
actually
get you.
realistic, but it's big.
Yes, I
So
get
is
you.
there
I
another way
get
that
you.
somebody can do it?
Yes, I get you. I get you. I said it before. You have to be honest and realistic. WMI, because you want it to be small, or because you don't want it to be too big, then you now say 1,000 naira per day. That's a lie. That does not work. It doesn't work. You have to be honest. WMI, if you quote them that you need $2,500, they won't give you the 2,500. There's a percentage they will give you. This is the percentage they want to give you that they will give you. They are not giving you the whole. But you have to be realistic. You have to be truthful. Get what I'm saying? So you don't say because it is too high, you feel it is too high, it is too big, then you now cut it down. Okay, I think this is too big. Let me just cut it down. That's based on your own discretion. No, you have to be, as much as you don't want to over exaggerate, you should still not be unrealistic. It should be the figure should make sense. They should be workable. You get what I'm saying? They should be workable, not all right.
I get it now. Thank you. Thank you. You
Yes,
answered my
yes, you're
question.
welcome.
All
You're
right.
welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so that will be all from people talking.
All right.
There are some
All
people
right.
that
All
have
right.
their questions on the hello, can you hear me? They ask their
Yeah,
question
I can hear you.
on the chat. Somebody
Yes, yes.
said, what about those who do part-time jobs and get paid after the project is done? It's a wage and not a salary. Does this part apply to us in filling?
Okay, fantastic. So that's also that's true. So the thing is, for every project, you have a duration. Say the project took about 3 months, and then you were paid $300. That's how much? $300 divided by 3 months. That's $100 per month. You could do that. That works. Just divide it by the duration. I mean, the total amount you were paid by the per month. You get what I'm saying? So if you were paid $300 for 3 months project, that would be $300 divided by three. That would be $100 per month. I hope you get what I'm saying. That works.
Okay. Okay, so lastly, somebody say, what if you currently don't have a job at all and you only rely on your parents? What if the job
That
you
works.
did isn't related to academics?
That works too. That works. It's not all jobs that relate to academic. I just said if there is a way to connect it, it is very much good for you. But if there is no way, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. You get what I'm saying? And if you don't have a job at all, it is still fine. It is still fine. So that means in that aspect of the application, in that section, you are a bit low in strength. So you need to focus on other parts that you are high in strength so that you use that to boost your application. You don't need to be good in all the aspects. You don't need to be an all-rounder, you know what I'm saying? But if you have, just make sure that you are using that to your advantage, very much to your advantage. If you have volunteering that you have done, don't say volunteering is too, it's too low. I can't do that. Like I said, WMI is big on volunteering, and the application is closing by March 1st. Who says you can't volunteer before March 1st? Of course you can. So before you make the application, I just implore you guys. If you have not done, this is January 11, right? You still have January. You have 20 days in January, and you have the whole of February to apply. You get what I'm saying? So you can still try, make effort to volunteer if at all you don't have any job that you have done before, any work experience, you still have time to volunteer. You know what I'm saying? Just try to volunteer. You don't need to rush the process. You know what I'm saying? They don't usually, it's not about how, I mean, who first, who submitted first, who submitted last. No, they are going to treat all submissions, all applications, right, together. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about how fast you submitted or how early you submitted. So I implore you guys, if you don't have anything at all, if you don't have any work experience and volunteering, just try to volunteer before the deadline, right?
Yes. So, Sadiq, is that all from your hand, or is there still something else you would
Yes,
like to add?
yes, that will be all from my hand. That will be all from my hand. In fact, I've spent more than, so I'm so sorry I'm so sorry, you guys. So if you have any more questions, put them on the group. You can tag me or just tag anybody. I mean, when they tag me,
Don't
please
worry, don't
Mercy,
worry. When
let
we
me know.
get to
Yeah,
that place,
exactly. Please,
we'll cross
please.
the bridge.
So
Thank you very much,
yes,
Sadiq,
thank you. So you
for
can ask the question
joining. I
by
really
section. Say
appreciate
section
it.
6, you have the section 10. I will attend to all questions. Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
thank
So,
you.
let
Okay.
me just say, I honestly can't wait for you guys to become WMI scholars. Cheers, guys, and good luck. Good luck, guys. Good luck. All right.
Okay, thank you very much, Sadiq, once again. So, for those of you that don't know, Sadiq was one of those that assisted me during my own application. There's a lot you can learn from these scholars. Just listen to them, try to connect to them, and I assure you that you'll be fine with your application. Thank you, everybody, for the emojis coming up. I love the energy in this room. So, finally, moving on to our last and final scholar, which is Stephen John, rather. Please, can you unmute yourself and just go ahead? And once again, for those that are asking about the document, these documents are on WMI sites. We got it from WMI website. So if you can go there as well, look into the frequently asked question, look into how you can go about the application. And for those of you that have started already, you would have known that, okay, these are the sections that comes with it, because you can't move on to the next section without filling the one you are presently on. So we got this document from WMI sites. You might want to visit that and check as well. Or I already forwarded it to the group. Thank you. We are going to take everybody's question, but let John speak first. Steve, are you there, please? Can you unmute and go ahead with your section? Yes. somebody is asking WMI. Okay, somebody is saying, thank you, Israel, for replying that. Thank God you are still on call so that you can be part of those that will answer questions when it's time. Steve, are you there? Please kindly unmute your mic and go ahead with your section. Okay, I think he's kindly having network issue, but it's coming up. While it comes up, I just take questions then. So if you're still on this call and you can answer people's question, please do that. Steve, we are waiting for you. If you can hear me, kindly unmute so that you can go ahead with your
Okay, I'm sorry,
presentation.
Messi. I think I had a
It's
problem
fine,
with my
it's
network.
okay, it's okay. Just go ahead with your section.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening and happy new year. My name is Steven from Nigeria. I'll be taking us on number 7 section. Number 7 section says, here's a chance to tell us more about your future and what you hope to do, which will help us to learn more about you. Please provide a section and a short answer on the line provided. I don't know whether you guys are hearing me. If you're hearing me, you can react with your best emoji. Okay, let's continue. This session, this is how you will feel this session. What do you plan to do after you completed your education, including the session of the form is just asking you to share a bit about your aspiration and goals. It's an opportunity to showcase your personality and motivation. After studies, what do you intend to do? How do you intend to impact to your community, to your country, to your state, and to the world at large? So here are some tips in responding to this section. The first thing you have to be specific. Specific in the sense that instead of saying I want to help people, specify in which area you want to help the people. Like for instance, here with me, I have an example. Sorry,
Please
are you all
mute your
hearing me?
mic, please. Yes, we can hear you, Steve. Go ahead. Please mute your mic so that we can have the best of these sections. Thank you. Steve, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, let's continue. Instead of saying I want to help people, but rather you should specify the field or the area you want to help the people. Now, the tips, highlight your passion. What are you passionate about? What are you excited? What like, let's say you are studying MBBS. What are your drives? What are the things that are driving you? What are your inspiration? What are the motivation that are pushing you towards MBBS in order to impact your society or to your community? So, and again, what I want us to still look at is highlight your, sorry, I've stated that, keep it concise, let it be brief, because they stated it, let it be short in the place provided for you. So let it be brief and short. Let it be brief and short. So and number 2, proofread it carefully. Ensure your response is free of grammatical errors and typos. So to avoid grammatical errors, brain is faster than our handwriting. Sometimes you may complete the sentence in your brain, but during writing, if you proofread it, you see the error. So it is very necessary and very important for you to proofread it. See the example that I have here. If maybe you are a student of environmental engineering, you can say, I am passionate about environmental science and hope to contribute to sustainable solutions through research and innovation. I'm excited to pursue a career in environmental engineering and work towards a brighter future. So these are the things they require you, they are asking you to put in that line they provided. I don't know whether you guys are hearing me. If you are hearing me, can you react with your best emoji? Hello.
All right, they are reacting. I think they can hear you.
Hello.
Please, Susan, mute your mic.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Thank you, Israel. Okay, I think
Okay, let's continue.
yes, please.
Or should I repeat the area
No,
that I
please go
just
ahead.
spoke on?
No, just go ahead. They will ask their question as time goes on, so as not to waste so much
Okay. Okay. That's all about that in this session 7. Especially, what do you plan to do after you completed your education? These are the all the things you put there. And under the session again, they say, as do you know any current or past WMI scholar? If you know any, you can say yes. If you don't know any, you can just put no. So this one is simple and direct. And the C part of it, it says, if you select yes, please provide the name. So if you choose yes, or you picked yes in your this thing, in your among the people that you know in the WMI, whether current or past one, so you indicate their name, you put their name. Let's say you know Messi or any, you can put their names there. So, and the D part of it, if you select yes, please provide the year you applied. Maybe you once applied for West Mountain Initiative, and unfortunately you were not picked as their shortlisted candidate. You can put the year you applied for. Maybe you applied last year, and unfortunately no and unfortunately you couldn't be picked, so you can put that year. I think this is also straight. While number 8, in this session, we are asking you to provide information on your past schools. Please enter your primary, secondary, and post-secondary school. So this one too, I think, is direct. You put your school. Like me, I attended Christ School. So I'll put Christ School. Location of the school, city and country, Benin City, Benin City, Nigeria. That's where I attended my no sorry, I attended my primary school in Jos. So I'll put Plateau State, Plateau, Nigeria, and year of completing your primary school. You put it there. They've provided the space. Secondary school, I attended Christ School in Benin. Location, Benin City, Nigeria. Year, I completed my secondary school 2019 2020. So that was when I finished my secondary school. If you have Maybe if you have started post secondary school education, let's say secondary school or any diploma, you can put in the years. And if you have the certificate, like the O-level result, diploma or degree, you can still provide it under where they provided the space for it. So this is that about number 8. I think these number 8 and 7, they are very clear and direct. So without without wasting of our time, we will go to 11 is it 11, 12, and number 12. Sorry, number 11. Number 11 is asking you of your voluntary activity. This section is just asking you for information about your past or current voluntary experience. Okay, maybe you partner with an organization that is the NGO, non-governmental organization. You just state the name of the organization and describe in which function you work there, or what office are you holding there. Like me, when I finished my secondary school, I worked in Comfort Needy organization as a cleaner, and after my secondary school, after I graduated from secondary
Hi,
school, waiting
David.
for
You are
admission,
currently
I
sharing your
started.
screen. Can you press that? Please continue. I will have no option and to remove you from the call.
Okay,
Please continue,
okay,
Steve.
okay. The name of the organization. So like me, when after I finished while I was still in secondary school, I was still serving as a cleaner at home for the needy. When I finished secondary school, I took up a teaching job under Home for the Needy because one of the Christ like is owned by Home for the Needy. So I started preparing those that are that are about to write ACCE and JAM. So this was what I did, and I wrote it in my brief description of responsibility at Home for the Needy and the date of starting. When did you start? If you started last year, you put 2024, and month, let's say February 2024, as the case may be, and the end date and month. Or if you are still currently working under the organization, you can you can just put currently, and the total hours you are voluntarily doing the job in your organization. Some of us, we may be working with Red Cross, UNICEF, Save the Children. You can put it in the place provided for the name of the organization. That is that about that. And again, maybe if you are working as you are volunteer, as independent volunteer, so you don't need to fill the blank space provided for organization. You just put um independent volunteer. Let's say you are cleaning your town halls or motor parks or cleaning gutters in your area. So this is also part of voluntary work. So going to personal statement and background, this is where we need to pay much attention because this place is very crucial and it's very important for all the applicants. Because I remember when I applied the first time, 2021, I didn't follow the rule, and it was unfortunate that year I was not shortlisted, and I have to still apply 2022, which I was picked as one of the beneficiaries of the WMI. WMI. And this is a scholarship that is global and is a competition of an idea. And you need to bring that unique aspect of it that is particular to you in your write-ups. So going with personal statement, what is personal statement? Personal statement is all about your family background, your experiences, what you went through, and you state it as you are writing it. Let it be informed, like you are appealing to their emotion. Let it be emotional, appealing to their emotion. I guess you know what I mean by appealing to their emotion. So you state your background, how you grew up, how many siblings, all this and that. And in this personal statement, it's still divided into two paragraphs before your conclusion. First paragraph, as we are taught in English language, first paragraph, you state your life, family, and your family and life experience in that part. You from 350 words to 500 words, you can put in your life experience and family background there before you proceed with why are you before you choose why are you studying the course you are studying now. Are you just studying it for studying sake, or is something that pushed you to study the course you are studying? Let me give you an example. When I applied, the last time I applied for West Mountain Initiative, first time, that's 2021. I started putting all these quotation, political quotation, all this Aristotle, this thing. So in their instruction, citation, quotation, plagiarism, and AI is not allowed. So try to be authentic. Don't over exaggerate it. Let it be you. You know, one thing with truth is that you can be called at any time and you still say the same thing. So that's another thing I want you to note. And so if you are done with that 500 words, maybe you want to make your own personal statement to be 1,000. So you just state your family background in 250 words or 500, and then come to the second paragraph. Why do you want to study nursing? Why do you want to study engineering? Like me, I said I want, because what the injustices that I saw with my eye, I wasn't comfortable with it, and I didn't want any child to undergo what I passed through and what my friends went through. So that was one of the reasons why I was pushed to study law. I think this is what wrote. I wrote in that place to complete my personal statement. And going with projects, is it project essay? So essay, as you are writing the essay, let it tally with your course of studies. Because I remember the first time I applied for West Mountain, I started writing Z genital mutilation. You know, that is part of science, all this thing. So let it tally with your field of studies. Or you can write it, maybe let's say you want to, I'm studying law. How can I impact to my society if I'm giving so amount? So what I wrote in my project, I wrote based on IDP camps. I saw the need in the IDP camps. I saw what they were going through. I saw how they were suffering. So I took that as my.
Hi, love
Please, can
you.
you mute
Love
your
it.
mic?
Please mute,
Love it.
mute your mic. Thank you. Continue, Steve.
Okay. Thank you. So try and choose a captivating topic that you know you can write extensively on. If you want to improve female education, just know how to put them in write up, and let it be very clear. Give it to a friend to read it, proofread it, read it by yourself, give it to another person to read, to cross check. And mind you, don't use AI. Please don't use AI, because they will test it whether you use AI, because this is the era where everybody's just using AI. You can just put in, please just write my story, and AI will help you to write them. But AI will not tell them the truth, and it can be dictated. So try to be authentic in your stories and your essay. Write it by yourself, proofread it, cross-check it. Because when I was writing my own, I will write like 100 words today. I will keep it. I will still, after a while, I will read it, and the next day it's just like that. That's how I wrote my essay and personal story. So these are the tips that you need to know. And select the topic, as I said, select the topic that you can relate with, and your course of study can relate with. Because when I choose all this genital mutilation, I just read it in one of the novels. So I was like, is there people that are passing through this? And I was told that there were people around me that were doing it. I just took on that topic. So, and I couldn't even write much on it. And at the end of the day, I was not even picked for the scholarship. So try your possible best to see you follow the instructions, you ask questions from the past WMI scholars if you know any, and by that, I think you will be at the advantage if they will select, if they are going to select rather. So in conclusion to what I said, in writing your story, just try to be authentic, don't over exaggerate it, follow the steps. And in writing what this say, especially we in Nigeria, all of us are fond of Java. Please don't include it in your personal statement, because it will serve as one of the disqualification. Because what the WMIs needs, they need people that will advance their community, that can help their community, that they can impact. So if you jabber, I don't think, and maybe you say after I graduate I'll just leave Nigeria because I'm tired of Nigeria, or you leave your country. So by that, I think you'll be disqualified. And this thing, it undergoes 5 reading stage by, I think, during my own 100 and something panels. So try all possible, let it reflect that you serve your community. So this is all I have to say about the WMI, and time is not on our side. If you
All
have
right.
any question, you can drop it. Maybe,
Okay.
sometimes the network may be glitching. You can drop it in the group, and we answer the I and I will answer it, or other WMI scholars will answer it. Thank you for your audience, and I'm looking forward to see you among the shortlisted candidates. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Steve. We appreciate your time in answering people's question. We really appreciate you once again. So, I can relate with Steve in everything he has said because in my own part, I had to apply like 3 times before I actually got it. And then I must say, you need to be very, very honest in your application. You need to be sincere. There is no need for you to lie. You know that you are facing financial trouble, and then you're not just applying because you want the money. So yeah, you need to be very, very honest. So right now we are moving on to answering questions. And please, if I do not call you, do not answer. Like, do not unmute yourself. Please, there are scholars on this course that on this call rather that will be taking your question. So be rest assured that we are giving enough time to answer your question. By 8:30, we are going to be done with this call. So we say that everybody question is going to be answered. So for those that are raising your hands, please can you please raise your hand so I can peek. All right. Taiwo, you might need to calm down because somebody already answered you before, but don't worry, your question will get answered. And Prince as well. So I can't pronounce this name very well, but Santigi Kote, can you please unmute yourself and ask a question? I don't know if I pronounced the name correctly. Conteo, you are happy. Do you have a question? Your hands are raised. All right. How about Taiwo? Taiwo, please can you go ahead and ask your question? Coming next after Taiwo is Amarashi. And after Amarashi, we have Happiness. So just prepare yourself.
Okay,
As
thank
somebody
you.
is done, just ask your question. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. My question is very brief. Somebody talked about the adding if you are on a previous scholarship. So what if it's just a one-time scholarship? Is there a way you can is there a way you can describe that? Probably there is an option there. That's one. And another thing about volunteering experience. I don't know about for Nigerians. I don't think if you go to volunteer you can't like can you just give us a typical way we can calculate our volunteering experience, like how we can actually like I think they said we can also add leadership as part of volunteering experience. And for instance, I'm serving as a general secretary and I'm also a student. So probably in the student organization. So how can I actually calculate my volunteering hours? So it's just two questions, one time scholarship and how I can calculate my volunteering hours. Thank you.
All right. So is there any scholar on the call aside the speakers that would like to answer that question? If there is scholar or a graduate scholar on the call and you would like to answer that particular question, can you please go ahead?
Yes. Good evening. My name is Gadwell, but
Good
then
evening.
yeah. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
we are.
please.
We are listening.
Yeah. I'm a student scholar from South Sudan. Yeah. Actually, your question, I got it like one time is scholar. I think you mean if it is your first time to apply, no, sir?
What I
Is that
mean is
correct?
that
Okay, Edwin, I think he's asking because sorry, please, Taiwo, can you allow me explain? So I'm thinking he's asking that in the part of there will be a place where you have to fill your scholarship experience, like if you are on a particular scholarship or you're not. So he's saying that he was already on one scholarship, but it's a one-time thing. That how is he going to put it on the application? Am I right, Taiwo?
Yes,
Yeah.
they
Okay. Like in the
Okay.
mm,
So please,
in the
Edwin, go ahead and
application,
explain. Thank you.
yeah, in the application, there's a space where they ask you whether you have a scholarship. So if you have a scholarship, then you also specify how much amount do you get from that scholarship. You also tell the name of that scholarship. Yeah, you put the name. There's a space there. You put the name and how much amount do you get from that scholarship and how much do you want from WMI. Yeah. So I don't know if I answer your question correctly.
kind of.
All right. So moving on to the next
Can you answer
person.
the second question? No, I asked two questions. I asked about
What was the
Okay,
calculating the
second?
towards
volunteering
this.
hours.
Okay, calculating the voluntary hours. Yeah, it depends on the time. For example, like if we did a community service of maybe general cleaning in some trading center, yeah, and then you will start from the time you left, like you walk out of your place, and then to the time when you finish that work, like coming back. For example, if you start at 8 a.m. in the morning and then you finish at 12 or at lunch time, that is 12, I think. And then you need to calculate, maybe you can say that at 8, that is 1 hour, 9, 10, 11, then 12, meaning in that particular day you did only 5 hours. And then if you like, if that voluntary work has been done for something like a week, and maybe you raise in a weekend, we know a week has 5 day, 5 working day, and then you need to also calculate like the 5 hours time is 5 day, that is 25 hours. Yeah. And then also continue like that. Yes, you have to put, and then if you require also the date, when did you start that activities, you have to put the day and the year, and then the month, and when did you conclude it, you also have to put. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Edwin. So next, going on, yes, is Amarashi Adeyemi. Can you please ask your question very quickly so we can accommodate more? I see there's a screen being displayed and we have more questions to answer. So we want to do that as quick as possible. Amarashi Adeyemi, I'm giving you time to ask your question, or else we move on to the next person. Kindly unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank
Okay,
you.
all right.
Thank you. I already asked the questions on the chat, so
Okay, and
they've been
somebody has
answered.
responded. All right, thank
Yes.
you. So moving on is Happiness AZ. Happiness AZ, can you please unmute your mic and ask your question very quickly? We have more questions to answer.
All right, thank you so much for this privilege to ask my questions. Well, I have many questions in mind, but I'll just ask few of them. All right, the first question
Okay.
is, what if you're living off campus? So how do you get to calculate your living expenses, or let me say your house rent? How do you get to calculate all of that? How do you get proof? Or it's the receipt you get from your landlord, is it good to include it as a proof of um what you paid, as a proof of your house rent payment? That is number one question. And then number two is, what if you've been doing like community service independently, like volunteering independently, you're not doing it under any organization? For example, if you're someone who has been teaching in tutorials, helping students, and you're not being paid for it, you're just doing it to help people within the school, within the community, you're just teaching. So teaching the students, and you've been doing that for years, but you don't have a pay for that, and you're not doing it under any organization, just like a personal thing you're doing. So is that also good enough to include? And then another one is, How do you calculate your
Okay,
hours of
Happiness, please make it very quick and snappy. We have more people to answer. Thank you.
all right, how do you calculate your hours of how do you calculate your hours of activities? Do you need to do a video from when you started and when you ended to show as a proof? Yeah, that is the 3 questions I have for now. Thank you so much.
Can I also answer? Huh?
Okay, if there's any other graduate scholar or beneficiary on the call, can you please answer that question? And if there is none, Edwin, you can answer it.
Okay, good evening once again. So I'm back.
Okay. All right. Good evening, Sadiq.
Yeah.
I
And
can
so I
take
got
that one.
okay, you asked 3 questions, right? But I think I got only 2 because I just joined. I just started paying attention again. So you said how do you calculate your hours, and then if you have a personal or a personal what's it called now? Personal volunteering DC that you have that is not from another body, just a personal DC. So I got those 2 questions. Then after them, then you asked the third one again. I'm sorry, I didn't get the first one. So about the hours, right? So say you're volunteering, you did let's talk about let me make an instance now. Say okay, so sanitation, maybe you and a host of others, or maybe only you, I wouldn't know, maybe only you or you and a host of others you engaged in environmental sanitation. Of course, for the day, for the day, you have 24 hours in a day, of course. So you wouldn't be expected to have 10 hours of that day performing the environmental sanitation, right? So say you did it from 8 a.m. or say 6 a.m.
Hi, Sadiq. I don't think we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, so say you did from 7 a.m. on a day, 7 a.m. to 12 noon on a day, that's 5 hours for you. You keep doing that until your 200 hours is completed. So 5 hours for one day, that's gone. Then you do 10, do 8, something like that. Make sure you have an account, keep all those things into account, right? So that at the end of the day, you add those things together, you add those hours together and amount to your 200 hours or above. Usually it should be above. Is it 200 hours, right? I want to be sure. I want to be sure again. Is it 200 or 150? Let's see. Hello, can you hear me?
It's 100,
100. Okay,
100.
yes, 100 hours, right? So 100
Yes,
hours.
100.
You do all those math, you do the mathematics, and when you arrive at 100 hours or above, then you are fine. So you do it mathematically the way it is, maybe 5 hours per day, or mathematically, and thinking about it. So you said you have a personal the personal stuff that you do that is volunteering. That's fantastic. In fact, that's better than you doing under somebody. You know, so that means it shows that you're a leader. You know what I'm saying? You're a leader, and then yeah, it shows your prowess in volunteering, right? So that's very good. So I didn't get the third question. Can you just you know keep that again? Sorry.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we might have to come back to hello, Sadiq. Okay, do you want
yeah.
to
Yeah, I
talk,
can hear you.
Edwin?
I want to respond the one of renting
To
if
the
you are
third
off
one.
campus. Yeah,
Okay,
if
okay,
you're
okay.
yeah, he was saying that what if you're off campus? Yeah, so that one you need the evidence of receipt. So not all the students are in this university or colleges hostel or rent. So that one you need the evidence. You need to calculate like how much your landlord will demand. Like if you are a past scholar, for example, this scholar who are applying this year, I'm sure if some of you are lucky enough, I pray for by the beginning of August, that is the 1st of August, you will be shortlisted. So meaning you will not have a evidence of that of that rental, but at the end you need to get a receipt from your hostel Yeah, so that it will prove for your next installment. Yeah, and then the second one, which is voluntarily for teaching, that one is very good. In your application down there, after your passport photo, there is another option where you can provide a picture, like three photo. So if you did that voluntary work, you need to also explain it, and then in the end, at least you give some picture. If, like, for example, someone took a picture of you behind the scene when you are teaching, so that one is also another evidence that show that this voluntary work was done by you. So thank you.
All right, all right. So that's basically it. Happiness, I hope your questions have been answered. So we can move on to the next people. Okay, somebody is asking that what if he or she does not have pictures of our volunteering experience? What does she do?
Yeah, that one is also okay. You just need to be honest by writing.
All right, that's fine. Okay, moving on to the next person. I'm trying to get people that raised up their hand. Okay, Prince. All right, Prince, go ahead, please.
Yeah,
Let's make it
good
snappy. By
evening.
8:30, we want to be done with this call. So please ask your question as quick as possible.
Yeah, please, good evening. I wanted to ask section 5. They stated that
Okay.
the job, the family, the saving, the government loan, and what the other loans. Please, are you able to have account on what WMI before proceed the scholarship?
Okay, you mean do you need to have an account with WMI before proceeding with your scholarship?
Yes. Or
Of course.
I don't get. Yeah, I don't get that section 5 clearly because I have the job over there, the saving, the family, the government loan, and other loans. Can
All
you
right.
please brief explanation on that?
Okay, so does anybody like is there a scholar on the call, graduate scholar that would like to answer that question? Esther, I think you wanted to speak the other time. Is there anybody else on call? I know Edwin, I've been speaking a lot.
Sorry. The question again. Sorry, I heard something about government or something.
Okay, the thing is, the person is asking that he does not understand section 5, that he needed an explanation on it, a brief explanation on section 5.
Oh, section 5. What was section 5? Can you put that up? Sorry.
All right, please tell me that can you reduce your screen so I can share mine? Sorry about that. I'm coming. I already closed the tab, so I'm trying to look for it again. I'm so sorry. Okay. All right, so question 5, let me share my screen.
It is about financial resources. Financial resources.
What do you say? Yes, it's about financial resources. So I'm sharing my screen now. Can you see my screen?
No, not yet. Not yet. Okay. Yeah, I can see it.
Can you see it? So I need to go to section 5.
Section 5, please go.
Yeah, I think the question is not related to question 5 because he was asking for an account. No, sir.
He said he does not understand question 5 very well. That was what he said. Prince, is that right?
Okay.
Yes, please. I don't get
Okay,
section 5 very clear. Yeah. I need brief
All right.
explanation on section 5.
So please, Sadiq, very briefly, just explain section 5.
Okay, so that we don't. Okay, so that we don't. All right, so that we don't need to take question section 5 again. Can you just tell me what exactly you don't get about question 5? I mean, in section 5, which part?
Yeah, section 5 because they have stated about they have the job, the saving. I'm asking that we able to have an account of what WMI before proceed with the scholarship.
When you say an account, how do you mean? I don't know what you mean by
The
an
saving
account.
because they have the saving. Do you have to put some money on the saving document or?
No. Oh, okay. What is he saying? Your financial resources, right? So look at that point of look at that look at the place that it says list all sources of income or support and the amount you expect to receive to help pay for your education from each source on an annual basis. You get what I'm saying? So job, if you have a job, you fill that in. If you have a job you are doing, that's why I said in section 10, right, about your work experience and all. So if you have a job, put that in and the amount you get annually. So if it is per month, you get 100 USD per month. So say annually will be last time, so that's 1,200. So you put that there under the job. Then family, of course, if you have somebody, if your mom or your dad or your uncle is the one sponsoring you in school, let them know the amount it gives you annually. You get what I'm saying? So if it is per month, just come up with the annual kind of, the total in a year. You get what I'm saying? An academic year. Then if it's savings, if you have your own personal savings, I mean, it could be from any source, but just your own personal savings. You get what I'm saying? You put that one too. So it's not like you have to have an account with WMI. Have I answered your question, or I'm not getting your question very well?
All right,
Yes,
Prince.
yes, please.
Your question has been answered, right?
Yes, please. Thank you very
All
much.
right, thank you very much. All right, so the next person we need to ask more question. If your question has been answered, please just put down your hands. Going ahead, I'll ask Mary. Mary, are you there? Can you please unmute your mic very quickly and ask your question? Mary, are you there? Okay, I can't hear what Mary is saying. I believe you are trying to speak, but then we can't hear you. Maybe you like to change your location so we can hear you very well. Okay, we have I can't pronounce your name, but Bear, can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me,
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Kindly unmute your mic and speak. What am I speaking to? Is this Mary?
Yes, this is Mary.
All right, please put down your hands so that we can know how many is left. Go ahead with your questions.
Okay, my question is about the other specific scholarship that you would have. So if you have a bursary from your campus, maybe it's a quarter of what you pay, is it necessary to put it as part of the other scholarship that you would have?
Is there anybody on the call who wants to answer? Any scholar, graduate scholar on the
Yes.
call? All right, please go ahead.
Okay, let me answer her. But please, Mary, can you repeat your question?
Mary, repeat your question. I think she's asking that if you want to put okay, continue, Mary.
Yeah, I got that question. She was asking, like, if your university, like, you are a continuous student, you already have you're already attending your classes, you have some bursary, a bursary, like some portion of support from the university which is offering to you. Is it necessary to include it in your scholarship? Not so, Mary?
Yes, that was a question. So who wants to answer previously?
Okay, I think you can include it in your application. You can include the support you are receiving from the university. Like Nigerian University now, if you look at it, sometimes ASU Association of this thing, they used to give like scholarship to some students that are in daily need. So I think you can still include it in your application. That will not be very bad.
All right, thank you
I
very
don't know
much.
that you.
Okay, so Mary, in essence, you can add that bursary that you have in your school to your applications. Is not bad. So I want to put Bear Ungong. Can you hear me? I can't pronounce your name quite well, and I'm sorry about that. But can you please hear me? Unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you.
He answered
Hello.
my question. Thank you.
All right, Mary. You're welcome. He's not responding, so I will just move ahead to somebody else. Yusuf
Hello,
Sulaiman,
Mercy.
can you? Yeah.
So just to add a bit to what the other guy asked and the response given. So
All
you
right.
can fill out any source of income you are receiving, be it a menial job you are doing yourself, another scholarship. Aside all that you have filled, there is one more important thing. Demonstrate you still need the scholarship. So you can be getting money that is like 1/10 of the total amount you need to pay your education cost. You don't have to be dishonest about the fact that you are receiving something, but state that I received this, my dad gives me this, myself, I do some jobs over the weekend, this. At the end of the day, I still need this much to be able to fulfill my educational cost. That's the essence of that.
Okay, thank you, Israel. So moving on to the next person asking question here. We have Yusuf Sulaiman. Bia Hongong, I've given you privilege to ask your question, but I don't know. I'm not pronouncing your name well. Maybe that's why you don't know. You're the one I'm calling, but it's fine. So
All right. Good evening. Thank you very much. Okay,
you're welcome.
my question is about the transcript, the tertiary institution transcript. For my school in Nigeria, basically, if you are still in the 100 or 200 level, you will only be given a statement of result, and you will not be given the transcript. I don't know how we're going to do about it. If someone can just submit the statement of result like that. But the thing is, in the statement of result, it will be boldly written that this is not a transcript. And even though I remember last year when I wanted to apply for this WMI scholarship, I tried beg the exam officer that they should please, at least, even if they were not going to give me the transcript, they should erase this is not a transcript statement from the result. But they say they cannot do it. Is that is an instruction from the Senate that they cannot do it. I don't know how you people would like advise us to do on that. I don't know. That's my
All right.
question.
Okay, Yusuf, I want to ask, what level are you?
Okay, currently I'm in 300 level.
So you don't have a transcript for your 200 level?
No,
That's
we don't. Yes, we don't have transcript. We only have statement
all
of
right.
result.
Your statement of, all right, no problem. Is anybody on the call that wants to answer the question? Anybody at all? I don't want to be the one to answer the question. I'm just hosting you guys. Yeah.
So with a transcript issue, what WMI is interested in is academic performance by semesters you spent at school. Your statement of results equally does that. You only need to be able to get the standardized interpretation your school uses for those grades attached. So you scan it as documents in addition to the pages of your statement of results, so they can be able to interpret what you are submitting. It equally doubles as your transcript. In any case, they want to verify that eventually when you are awarded a scholarship, they can always reach out. And there's an aspect where you will need to submit a recommendation letter. It could even be from your director of academics, your dean of students, any of the lecturers. All these people are contact persons that WMI can call on to verify any document it's.
Okay, so does that answer your question, Yusuf?
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you. So the next person is Delightsome.
Yeah. Sorry for interruption. I think the system is deeper across the world. Yeah, I was hearing 200 level from Nigeria. I don't know how is it interpreted to the rest of the countries. Is that one a university or a secondary?
Yeah, it's university. In Nigeria, we make use of levels. So if you're in your first year in the university, you're in 100 level. Your second year in university, you're in 200 level. Your third year in university, you're in 300 level, and like that, you graduate. So yeah, for a medical course, you are going to go from 100 level to 600 level. So that's how we make use of it in Nigeria. So that was why I was asking him what particular level it is, and he's currently in his third year in the university. So yeah. Delightsome, please can you go ahead with your question? I don't know. Bear or something is not responding. I don't know why. So the lights on.
Okay.
Can you go ahead with the question?
Good evening. Please, am I audible?
Yes, you are. You are. Please go ahead. We are
Okay.
out of
My
time.
my question is, when I am applying in the application process concerning finances and everything, when I give the breakdown of my spending, my tuition, accommodation, feeding, and everything, and I come to a fixed amount, when requesting for the amount I need the WMI to pay me, am I to request for the exact total of all my expenditure for that academic year, or is it something lower than that? That's the first one. And then the second one, for my volunteering pictures, can I like use like a collage? I know I'm to upload like 3 pictures, but let's say in a particular volunteering experience, I engage in a lot of things and I have a collage of, I have different pictures of that particular event. Can I bring all of them as a collage for just one, and then maybe use something else in another instance for a different, for the second one and then for the third one? Thank you.
All right. So, is there any for the second question? Let me just respond. Then any scholar on board can respond to your first question. So we'll make it very snappy because we have about 9 minutes to close this call. You can make a collage. For me, when I wanted to apply, we have 3 spaces to put our question and to put our volunteering picture. What I did was I made a PDF of everything, like all my questions, all my volunteering pictures. I made a PDF. So I have PDF 1. It has a lot of pictures in it, about 20 pictures, or how many pictures was there, because I did a lot of volunteering experience, volunteering work. So it has about 20, then the second one to 20, and then the third one to 20. But then you want to make sure that you are telling them what you did. In this particular picture, you are highlighting that, okay, this is what I did, this is what I was doing in this picture, and all of that. So you can upload a PDF, not necessarily picture. And if you think that it is collaging that works for you, that's fine as well. But to make it very explainable, you can make use of a PDF and write what you're doing in that particular picture. You can put it there. So that answers your second question. For your first question, is there anybody on call that wants to respond to that question?
Okay, let me answer him.
Okay, so
And for
go
your
on.
okay, for your first question, I don't know whether I got what you asked right. You said, can I put all the estimate for my school expenses? That's yearly expenses. Yes, you will put the yearly expenses. You will put the total amount that will be enough for you. Although they don't even work based on the amount you put for them on this thing. You just put the amount, the exact amount that will be enough for you for your school expenses. If they want to deduct the one you are getting from your parents or from the other scholarship, that will be left for them. So you just put the amount that will be enough for you for this thing. As Sadiq has spoken, or Sadiq, I don't know that I'm pronouncing his name right. Just try to be honest in putting your
Yes, Sadiq. All right, thank you. So moving on to the next person, Prince Tikiru or something. Prince, can you please? I have 2 princes here. Please, can you unmute and ask your question? So, Deborah, please put down your mic, your hands. So
Good evening. Good evening.
Okay, the 2 of you cannot speak at once. Somebody should go first, then the next person come afterwards.
Okay, good evening.
All right, good evening.
Please, I want to ask that, what about the applicants that do not have any volunteering works to give to WMI? How would they do it?
Okay, so I think we've spoken about that. Today is 11 June. Asking to something. If it's part of you and you think in the habit of helping people doing a lot of volunteering projects, it's rather unfortunate that you don't have any picture documentations. But you still have the time to get on one. It doesn't have to be anything huge. Organize a community cleaning exercise, mobilize yourselves, join some NGO, execute their projects, and get action pictures. Pictures of you in action doing something. You just need about 3 or more. You should be able to get that from now till February till March. And while you are waiting to get this project done and get pictures, you have the templates, filling the other aspects of your writing your essays, It's an ongoing process. Not like tomorrow is the deadline.
Actually,
So that should be.
And please, I want to ask that if you've engaged in any national competition for your previous school, which is a secondary school, can you use it as your volunteering project?
let me get you right. You mean that you part of an SC
Participated,
competition?
yeah, national science and math quiz competition.
No, that's academic, no volunteering.
Okay, thank you.
You get so yeah, thank you. So the second prince on call, please can you unmute yourself and ask a question very quickly? We are trying to take everybody's question to make sure you guys are well fed.
Okay, police. Hello, police. I want to kindly ask something. I have a pre-secondary school that is HND in pharmacy. That's the
Prince, we can hardly
pharmacy.
hear you. Please, can you? We can hardly hear you. Please, can you like increase your
Police.
volume?
Hello. What I'm saying is that.
Okay.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You can go ahead.
Yes, you can. You can. Police. I have completed secondary school and I'm currently enrolled to do pharmacy. That's my level 100. But I went to pre-secondary school before and I obtained HND in dispensing technology. That's pharmacy technician. So I don't know. I want to ask you, which certificate am I using? Because I have gone to pre-secondary school before. So am I using the HND certificate to apply for this special scholarship, or I'm using my secondary certificate?
All right,
Hello.
Prince.
So with that, what you have to do is, first of all, the program you are doing, verify if it's a degree program. HND diploma, those are not degrees. Once it is a degree program, it still falls under undergraduate programs. So if you have your admission letter for the current undergraduate program you're in,
Please mute yourself so that you can hear me correctly. Hi, Prince. Please mute yourself so that you can hear Israel correctly. I can hear myself back. Thank you.
so
Right.
if you have an admission letter that demonstrates that your current program is an undergraduate program, you react a session where you attach that. You could equally feel that you are doing a diploma, you are doing a degree. Once you have certificates on HND, the requirements for you to enter the degree, just like how you could have used your WASI to enter a degree. So they are barely requirements, but doesn't cut you away from benefiting from this scholarship once it's still that.
Israel, are you on?
You.
Yeah, I think on addition to that, for example, if you have a diploma, and that mean you are still undergraduate. So you need to also submit that diploma or any certificate, as long as it is not degree. Yeah. But
All right. Thank you very much.
but what is needed most is the secondary and the first secondary level. That first secondary level, that means it is either diploma or certificate.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So somebody asked on the group that as a final year students apply for this scholarship. Please, we just need a yes or no. Prince, kindly put down your questions.
That is yes. That is yes, as long as it needs some financial support. That is yes. And WMI is not only benefiting during your study. There are also other benefit after you become a graduate or the alumni. Yeah, so if you can get your one semester support, but the rest you can get it as and
Okay, so we have three more questions to take. Three hands are up, and that's the last three questions we are going to take. I want you guys to make it very snappy. We don't want to make it look as if we are not replying to everybody. So for you, that is why we created this to start with. So we want to take as many question as we can take. So Salako, if you're there, can you unmute your mic and very quickly ask your question?
Thank you. Good evening. So basically, as regards the finances part, in a case where one is on a scholarship currently, and in the slot where WMI cannot provide the funds needed, I think one of the speakers said you calculate $50 plus $20 of income and all. Are we also to factor in the scholarship that one is on currently? Are we also supposed to factor in that amount, convert it to dollars, and also add it to whatever one is earning to buffer? That's just what I want to clarify. Thank you.
All right. Is there anybody on the call that wants to answer that? So we can...
Okay, please. Let me
Yeah,
just
hello.
help with that.
Okay, start. Thank you.
Yeah. So well, for that particular question, of course, as for me, like I was not having any scholarship before WMI, so that's why I did not like emphasize on that area. But of course, if you're having a scholarship with a particular organization or institution, you need to state the specific amount and you need to like identify the organization you're having scholarship with. And of course, the amount should be in US dollars, sorry. So then you give your total and it should match up with the amount that you give. The total should be like accurate because you will not give a total for what you have not given as scholarship fund or loans or maybe from your family. So I believe that is all.
All right. So does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Solako and
and
Esther.
and what they should not forget, there's also a link in the application form there. That link you will use it for calculating the rate of that particular currency. If you are in Nigeria, you have that is Naira, then you put that amount, then the date you are calculating it. The same also apply to other country, that local currency.
All right. Thank you, Edwin. So last two questions. We have Simon Ubunaya. If you're here, please kindly unmute and ask a question very quickly.
All right. Thank you very much. My question is very straightforward. So my question is there a specific, let's say, a maximum number of applicants that is accepted each year, or does it vary?
Okay. So because your question is not really related to the application, I'm going to respond to the question. So like I said earlier, we are not WMI staffs. We are WMI scholars. So we don't know how they go about selecting applicants. But from last year's statistics, they were able to admit 6% of the total application. And this year, they are looking forward to admitting 10% out of the total application. So if you can make your calculations, you can know that. But regardless, like I said, we are not WMI staffs. We are just scholars and graduate scholars. Does that answer your question?
That is the best answer.
All right, thank you. Please drop your hand. So we have Abdul Mojid Ubidiolu or something. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm pronouncing your name not very
Yes,
well. Really
that's
sorry.
the name. Yes,
All
I
right,
have like three questions.
very
Thank you.
snappy. Please make it very, very snappy. We
So
are
the first
running.
question is, there was a time I finished secondary school, so I was teaching in a community school just for the summer lesson, and I was being paid like 4,000 in a week. No, 4,000 in 4 weeks. So I want to ask if that can be also be considered as a volunteer work apart from the working experience. Then I want to ask, what if the number of hours of the volunteer is not up to 100 hours, just like you said? Does that have anything to do with it? And the applications, do they do it like first come, first served? Or is it just randomly? Do they have time to really
Okay.
do all the applications?
All right. So I'm going to respond to that. See, if you're the last person to submit, does not mean that your application will not be thoroughly reviewed. It's not about first come, first serve. These people have your time and they are going to review your application very well. That is why we are telling you that you do not need to lie. You have to be very honest with whatsoever you're doing. They have your time. They have the whole month, like they have months to actually review your application. So it's not based on Philip. Please, can you mute your mic? So it's not based on first come, first serve. That's your third question. And your second question, please, can you repeat it?
I said I once worked in community service, it was a summer lesson, so it was just like 4 weeks.
Yeah, I get that part.
So
There was this other question that you asked.
I said, what if the number of volunteers not up to number of hours of volunteering is not up to 100 hours, just like you said?
Okay, okay.
Does that
All
mean
right.
negative?
So I think Sadiq make mention of that when he was talking. You don't necessarily have to have one volunteer for one thing for 100 hours. I mean, okay, I'm a Red Cross member. Does not mean that okay, I did all the old Red Cross, like 100 hours volunteering in Red Cross. I could do another one. I could do another one for Yali and all of others like that. I might have 7 organizations that I volunteer for, but 7 of them together, when you calculate them together, makes up the 100 hours. And honestly, it does not even have to do with 100 hours. It's when we become a scholar that this 100 hours is so important. But as an applicant, they just want to know that, okay, you are so invested in volunteering. They're not just wasting your money, their money on you, that you have volunteering experience. So you don't necessarily have to start calculating, oh, I need to put 100 hours specifically. No, it can be 25, it can be 50. I didn't even remember doing 100 hours during my own application time. So yes, it does not necessarily have to be 100 hours. Do you get? Then
There's no
your
way
first
that
question.
you should indicate the number of hours during the application. There's no way.
Well, maybe if it has changed, but at last year when I applied 2 years ago and the year before that, when I applied, it was not specifically stated that it has to be 100 hours. But you have to have some hours of volunteering that you have done. That's it.
Yeah,
So for
even now it is not indicated like that. But what they need is just as you say that they need at least you have something at least voluntarily work that you have done, even if it is 1 hour, 2 hours and above. That one is okay. And then
exactly.
you ask of and then you ask of working that can it and then that work was he was paid. So he was asking whether can it be considered as a employment work experience or voluntary work. I think that one is work experience because they paid you.
But the pay was so small, and they also acknowledged that the pay was small.
All right.
As
No, yeah, please. You can use that. You can use that as either work experience or volunteering, no matter in as much as you want to put it, like however you want to put it. You can either put it as work experience or volunteering. Let me just share my own experience with you. I was going when I finished secondary school, I was going to my mom's place. She sells pure water and soft drink. I'll go there in a week. She'll give me 1,000 naira every day in a week. That's about 5,000 naira in Nigeria. I don't know how much that is in another currency, but when I wanted to apply, I put that as my work experience, that I do go to work for my mom at a place of work, and she does give me this particular amount of money. Even though the money was small, I still put it there. She gets. So work experience should be the best place where you can put that kind of experience. Does that answer your question?
yes, but I was just trying to think if I could put that in the
Like
volunteering
I said,
space.
it is up to you. You can put it wherever you want to, but that's just from our home perspective. Okay,
The
so
only the only difference there will be in the if you put it as
Sorry,
a
the
work
network is
experience.
bad.
If you
I
put
can't hear you.
password. If you put it as a work experience, they will ask you for the amount you've received. And if you put it as a voluntary work, they will not ask you for that amount because they know voluntary work is for free. Yeah, that is the only difference. You just decide which one. If you have work experience which is already there, apart from this one, you take it as a voluntary work. But if you don't have and you have another voluntary work, you can decide.
All right, thank you, Edwin. Fortune, you're next. Fortune Akuretega, you're next, please. I might not be taking Caleb Bankole question because you came late. So this is the last question I'm answering today. Fortune, if you're there, please kindly unmute yourself and ask your question before we call this a day. All right. I don't think Fortune is there. Abdulmajid, please kindly mute yourself. Mute yourself rather. Fortune, are you still ready to ask your question? Because I could see your hands up. If you don't want to ask your
Yes,
question,
please.
that's a
Yes,
all right.
please. That's my question. So I'm a fee-paying student in my own home country. I'm offering a course undergrad, but it's fee-paying. Am I still eligible to apply?
Sorry, please, can you repeat yourself?
The course I'm offering, it's an undergrad program, but the mode of my admission is access fee-paying. So am I eligible to apply?
Okay, what question is that?
Prepaying
Sorry, what
meaning you are studying
question
for
is
free. You are studying for free, not so.
I'm not saying free, fee paying. So actually, colleagues of mine in the same, there are some other colleagues of mine in the same program, running the same program, but they are paying far less than I am.
So hello, I think I get you. What you should do is go ahead and apply anyways.
Okay.
The difference whether you are regular, you are fee paying, or you are sandwich. Once it's an undergraduate program, you have your admission letter showing it's a degree on undergrad program. You're eligible to apply. All right.
Okay.
If you don't have the means to pay, because universities use quotas. Maybe they have a quota of 70 students or regular. You are eligible to do the program based on your grade and everything. They offer to you on fee paying basis, meaning you pay than the other regular students are paying.
Yes.
That's why there's that difference. But aside that, you can still have the opportunity to apply for, the WMI scholarship, right?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Israel. Thank you to every scholar and graduate scholar on this
Mercy,
call that has.
let me interrupt. Fortune, I did not get the user question. What is the PPay? Because that one need also to be experienced to others who are from another country or other part of the
Oh,
world.
okay. I get what you're saying.
What does it mean?
Fortune, can you explain what you mean by PPay or something?
So I think Israel said it. He says it's like he said, the universities have a quota for the students. So there's a particular number they would want for students who will be regular. For those students, they would pay a fee less than the rest. So say a school decides to allocate 70% as a quota for the fee paying, then 70% for regular. So about 70% of the students would be paying a subsidized fee. A subsidized fee is actually subsidized by the government, I think. The remainder who are going to be offering fee paying would pay the fee in full. So that's fee paying.
Okay. I think your issue is related to Mary. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I've got you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so like I was saying, I want to say a very big thank you to every scholar on this call, every graduate scholar, every speaker that I reached out to you and you guys responded. Good. Sorry, please. You are raising up your hand. All right, kindly unmute your mic and ask a question because I've given you opportunity to do that before and you didn't do that. But I'm just giving you another opportunity to unmute yourself, please. You're raising up your hand via Ngong or something. Unmute yourself. I'm so sorry I didn't pronounce your name very well. I'm really sorry about that. Please, can you just ask a question?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm very sorry that I did not reply before because my network is not okay. I was just missing your voice.
Oh,
And
okay.
you pronounce my name. You pronounce them correctly. Thank you.
Oh, thank God. All right. I'm sorry I did that.
That's my name. I'm called Ngong Bear. I'm South Sudanese.
Okay. All right, please ask your question.
I'm not.
So we can close this call.
Yeah, Messi, I'm not asking any question again because some of my questions have been asked and are answered.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
I just want to thank you, and I want to take a request to leave.
All right. Thank you. All
And
right, you can do that.
Thank you. And my request is also.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yes, please. Kindly,
I want to request you because I've already realized some of my mistakes because I've written already my application.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I just request if I may get some of the applicants, like some of the scholars like you have applied like 2 times or 3 times.
All right. All right.
If I can get any of you that I send my application so that you read it correctly, because you may have experience that maybe I have written it like the way you written yours before the first time.
All right. All right. No problem. No problem.
Would
We'll
that one
provide
be
you with
possible?
that. Yes, it is. So we are going to respond to you on the group. So like I was saying, thank you to all the scholars, graduate scholars, beneficiaries, and everybody who has responded to my call. Like I gathered you all here and you were here to help this applicant out. It means so much to them. It means so much to you, and it means so much to me. Thank you very much. So for every applicant on this call, we are bringing this call. All right, we're bringing this call to a close, and we want to assure you that there are scholars that are ready to assist you one-on-one on your application. And as soon as I drop this, we end this call, we are going to open up the group so that you can add your name, and then add your name so that you can be paired with somebody that will review your essays, guide you one-on-one on your application. One of the benefits of the things I got is when I was applying is the benefit of scholars around that could hold my hands and walk through the journey with me. And that was the same dream, the same passion we have here today. So be rest assured that you get people as soon as the this call is ending. I'm going to open the group for you to ask them to put in your name for mentorship, and it closes by 11:59. Nothing beyond that, because we have limited scholars available to take to guide people. I wouldn't want to shock them with because they have life outside of this call or this application stuff. So once again, thank you very much for joining. We really appreciate you. Yeah,
sorry,
I'm listening.
sorry, before you close. Like, what is the exact time? Because I thought that we are going to start at around 21 East Africa time. I think we start earlier than that. So
yes.
Is the time correct? What is the exact time for the tomorrow session?
No, there's no section after this. There's no section.
Tomorrow,
This is the only webinar we'll be having.
okay,
So
this is
the
the
next
last.
one will be like for you to have an applicant paired with you. You know, the way you are a scholar already, we'll pair an applicant or two with you so that you can mentor them one-on-one and guide them through the application process. So that is what is left. We are not having another webinar after this. So yes, like I was saying, Emmanuel, we are not going to be taking your question again. If you have any question, please direct it to me. Ask me your question. I'll forward this to the group and we can get people to respond. I've given you enough time to ask your question and you were not online to do that. I'm giving you a privilege to message me on the group. I've been the one putting messages on the group. So just message me privately with your question. I'll send it to the scholar group and then give you back a response. Thank you very much. So once again, thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate you all, and I'm so grateful for you all agreeing to do this with me. Thank you. You can all start going off the call now. Bye. We'll see you later. And for
All
the
right,
applicants,
thank you very much.
the very best in your application. We are rooting for you and we hope that you join us come next year. Thank you once again and bye.
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 Thank you very much, everyone. God bless you.
And you too.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Messi.
Thank you, Israel. I'm grateful for the gift of you.
It's all my
Oh,